Let me ask you something. How long have you been working out? Be honest with yourself. Weeks, months, years. And yet, when you look in the mirror, it's almost like your body hasn't changed in forever. I know exactly how that feels because I was stuck in the exact same place. I was training hard, I was dieting clean, I was doing everything I thought I was supposed to, but I still looked average. And the worst part, deep down, I knew that I was capable of more. I wanted that lean, confident, aesthetic physique, the kind that actually gets noticed, but I couldn't figure out why nothing was working. Whenever I first started in the gym, I used to always think that just working out was enough. I would go there, I'd hit a nice lift, I'd go home, I'd kind of eat whatever I wanted, and then I'd look in the mirror after that and realize that I just wasn't changing at all. And I had made some decent progress in my first couple years in the gym because it's been about 4 to 5 years now in the gym, which is crazy to me. But within those first couple years, I made a good bit of progress. I had like the newbie gains, if that's what you want to call it. But after that, I just stopped progressing. For quite literally a year and a half, I looked the exact same, and it just ate me alive that I was going to the gym all this time. I was spending years and years going to the gym, but nothing was changing. I had the same body, I lived the same lifestyle, and I just wondered why. I wondered what was wrong with me. I didn't know what was wrong with me, right? I thought it was my genetics. I thought maybe I needed to take steroids. I thought that there was something that I was missing, and I knew that I was missing pieces of the puzzle that were going to allow me to get to that top 1% physique, because it was so damn frustrating to go to the gym every single day and still feel like I didn't have the body that I deserved. And the reality is that this would have went on forever had I not changed, because I didn't take a look at the habits that I had. I was living a shitty lifestyle. I was going to the gym, but that was all. I wasn't tracking my calories. I wasn't tracking my macros. I wasn't aiming to get a good diet in. I was going out on the weekends. I wasn't sleeping correctly. And because of this, I deserved to look the same. I didn't deserve to look better, but I didn't comprehend that. All that I knew and all that I felt was that it sucked so bad that I was the exact same, because everyone around me knew that I was going to the gym 3, 4, 5, 6 days a week. Everyone around me knew that I loved the gym and that I constantly prided myself on having a good body and having a good routine. But the truth was that I looked average. I looked just like any other dude on the street. I would wear a t-shirt and you couldn't even tell that I went to the gym when I had that t-shirt on. And that ate me alive. That made me feel like complete shit. And like I said, I would have stayed in this situation forever had I not made a shift, the shift that I'm about to show all of you. And the reality is with this too, that most men stay stuck here forever. Most men don't take that jump, right? You make a little bit of progress, you might start to feel kind of good about yourself, but then you stop. And that's exactly what I did. I completely stopped trying to level up. I realized that, okay, I had built like an average physique, right? I wasn't fat anymore. I didn't look terrible now. So it's okay for me to stay the exact same. Until I realized that complacency was what was killing me. Complacency was the reason that I felt stuck and the reason that I was in this plateau for so damn long. It's because I wasn't trying to level up. I told myself that I was trying to, but deep down, I was not putting in the work to level up. So to you watching this, I'm going to give you all of the tools that it truly takes to level up, but you have to be willing to apply them and you have to be willing to listen, because I've done this for dozens of people, taking them from that plateau to that next level. So only watch this next part if you're truly willing to level up and truly willing to get out of this plateau. Because let's be honest, do you genuinely want to stay in that plateau? Do you genuinely want to stay in the same situation? Because I thought that I did, and I thought that I was happy with my physique until I started to level up, and until I realized that it wasn't right for me to be this gym guy, for me to be this guy that was going to the gym 5 days a week and to look the same. So for you watching this, I want you to really take notes on this next part. I'm going to take you inside my computer. I'm going to show you exactly how me and my guys level up and the exact system I used to go from average to gaining that top 1%, that elite aesthetic physique that I truly desired. So I'll see you guys right in there. I'm going to get to my laptop right now. All right, we're back, guys. And now I'm going to show you first what most people are doing and the main reason that you specifically are stuck right now, right? Because this is the framework that I was following whenever I wasn't progressing, and I wondered why I wasn't progressing, right? The first thing that I would do is I would go literally like on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, and I'd pick up all these random workouts that influencers were doing, and I thought that that was what was going to get me to the next level, right? I thought these guys, all all look better than me. So of course, I'm just going to do their workouts. That's not how it works. Most of the workouts they're doing, I'm going to give you a little secret as somebody who's been in the fitness industry myself. They don't even do them. They're completely lying to you, and they're doing stuff that looks flashy to just get views and clicks. And that's not how it should be. What you need, and I'll explain to you more about this, but you have to stick to one specific workout split and then make changes as you enter plateaus. Otherwise, you're never going to change. And the next thing is with dieting too. You're eating healthy, but you're not structured, right? You might eat healthy. You might focus on like lean protein sources, some carb sources, fruits, vegetables, but there's no structure to it. You're eating healthy, and that's all you need, right? Okay, I'm eating a good clean diet, and therefore I deserve that top 1% physique. That's simply not how it works. And what this leads into is you grinding with no actual metrics. You're doing the work, right? You're going to the gym, you're trying new workouts, you're trying different things, you're eating healthy, but you don't have a system. You're not making progress because your system is failing you. And that leads into small changes, right? If you're going to the gym, you're eating clean, obviously you're going to see some type of change, right? I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you're going to make no progress. But that being said, you're going to spend a very large amount of time stuck in a plateau and not making changes. Once you kind of get out of that little like newbie gains, like I had mentioned before, you make a little bit of progress, and then you just get stuck in this plateau and you don't know where to go. You get into this sticking point where, okay, one, I don't know if I should bulk or cut. I don't know what I should do with my diet. I don't know if it's my training plan. I don't know what it is. And that's why you end up stuck in this plateau, because it's constant guesswork. There's no system to it, and you truly do not know what to do. And what that leads is to greater frustration. You're obviously going to be pissed off if you're putting in all this work and not progressing. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to not progress out of your situation if you're putting in the work, which you probably already are doing. And even if you're not, if you don't put in the work and if you don't have any structure, you're not going to make progress. If you do put in the work and you don't have structure, you're not going to make progress. Structure is the key to the issues that you're facing right now, whether you're newer in the gym or you're more advanced and you're stuck in a plateau. And what this leads to at the end of the line is what? The same body year after year. You're stuck in a plateau and you don't have any confidence because of that. You're continuously in this plateau, and as hard as you work, if you don't have structure, you will never get out of it. So that's what leads me into our next point. And this, first of all, this system exactly is what I quite literally followed for 2 years and stayed the exact same. I was not progressing because even though I was working hard, I had no system. So that is where the actual system comes into play. The first thing is clarifying your goal, because I see a lot of people where they don't know whether they should bulk or cut. They don't know what they need to do to get their dream physique. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you have a little bit of excess body fat, there's a good chance you should be doing a recomp if you have muscle mass. That means you're eating slightly less than your maintenance calories, high protein, high carbohydrates, a little bit lower fat, and you're continuing to train with high intensity. With all of these, no matter what situation you're in high intensity. Now, if you're a little bit skinnier, you're a little bit like chubbier, obviously it's a little easier to decide whether to bulk or cut, but set in stone specific goals. Like I want to gain X amount of pounds. I want to lose X amount of pounds. I want to look this certain way. You need to set a specific goal because it gives you something to incentivize to work towards. If you don't have a specific goal, you're failing yourself. The next thing is with your actual training, what you should be doing, right? You should be focusing on a structured training system. Now, a structured training system is one that is customized to you and your specific goals. I'm not saying you should be training, 7 days a week if you're working 50 hours a week, but what you should be doing is training with intent, focusing on the same exercises week after week. And if you have a specific exercise you're not progressing on, then you need to switch out that exercise, which brings me into the concept of progressive overload. This is essentially whenever you are trying to increase the weight or the reps every session, right? Every time you do a workout, track that workout, and the next time you do it, you should be aiming to increase the weight or reps. This will tell you whether or not you're progressing. And this is what I do with all of my guys to make sure we can actually see that they're progressing. It is the key to knowing whether you're building strength, building muscle, because if you're building strength, you're building muscle. The next thing is with your nutrition, and you need precision with your nutrition. It is extremely crucial to have that precision with your nutrition. What do I mean by this? I mean, you need to be tracking your calories. If you were to do this on your own, I would recommend you use MyFitnessPal. It's a pretty solid app for that. But you need to be precisely tracking your calories because you need to know whether or not you need to increase or decrease them. If you're not eating anything, it might be different calories every day. You might be in a deficit some days and a surplus the other days, and you're not going to know what you should do, right? Because you don't have a baseline to go off of. The first thing I do with my guys that I work with is I put them all at their maintenance calories, right? And you can go online and search up TDEE calculator and find your maintenance calories, simple as that. those are the calories you should start at, because then once you establish that baseline, if you eat at those calories and your weight does not change, then you'll know whether you need to increase them if you're trying to gain weight or decrease them if you're trying to lose weight. It's very, very, very simple. You need to establish that baseline with your nutrition. And then with your nutrition as well, you need to focus on macronutrients. What this means is your proteins, carbs, fats. I'm sure you might have heard of those before, but with protein, if you're in a cut, 1.2 to 1.4 grams per pound of body weight, just so that way you can be more full, you can be more satiated, you're not going to be as hungry. At a minimum, though, you should be getting a gram per pound of body weight. So if you're in a bulk, a little bit less protein is nice because you're going to be less full throughout the day. Protein is what keeps you the most full. The other things you should focus on are fats. You should have 0.3 to 0.5 grams per pound of body weight for fats, no matter what stage you're in. This is going to help regulate hormones, make you feel better, regulate your thyroid, everything you need pretty much to stay healthy. And then the rest of your calories are filled with carbohydrates, fruits, and vegetables. The fruits and vegetables increase your fiber intake, your micronutrient intake, which makes you feel extremely well throughout the day. And then the rest of your calories, obviously, are coming from those fruits, which is also going to make you feel better. And there's a lot of fiber in vegetables, so it's going to make you feel more full and more satiated, so you're not starving if you're trying to lose fat. And the next thing too, which is extremely important, is the accountability and the data side of things. Now, obviously, you need to show up for yourself first and foremost. You've been showing up for yourself, you've been in the gym, but if you don't have the accountability aspect to track what you're doing, to document what you're doing, you're not going to progress. That's the key to this, is documentation and data. And with that data as well, that way you can make weekly adjustments. Like I said, you should be going off of your baseline and increasing or decreasing. This is what I do every single week for my guys in my one-to-one. And you need to track progress quite literally like a science experiment. I know it sounds boring, but it's very, very, very simple. And the system I use is very, very, very simple. You're quite literally tracking calories and workouts, and that's about all. It's very, very simple. And I've mentioned the app that you can quite literally just do all of that on, right? And with that too, if you are going into your workouts fatigued, you are feeling like struggling going into your workouts, you're not getting strength, lower the amount of sets in your workouts, so that way we are mitigating the fatigue, right? And with that as well, the same thing with your calories, you've already mentioned, you need to be tracking your baseline calories and then increasing or decreasing. And if weight loss stagnates or weight gain stagnates, you can now increase or decrease those calories because you know what you're eating. The key is knowing what you're already doing. Now, this system also focuses on sustainability and satiety, right? You don't need to eat boring ass foods, but you need to be hitting your macros. You don't have to eat bullshit all day, and you don't have to eat insanely fucking clean either, but you need to find that balance. And that balance is what I focus with my guys, right? And obviously, the end result of this is the physique that you want. It's that shredded, muscular, confident physique, the physique that people notice. And this is what broke me out of my plateau. And more importantly, it's what I've used to break dozens of men out of plateaus. As you can see here, it works for any level of lifter. This is my guy, Evan, here. Evan started working with me 6 months ago. And as you can see, when he first started, he was stuck in a plateau as a beginner, right? He had a lot of body fat on him, didn't really know what he was doing in the gym. He was going every day and he was eating clean, but he wasn't making progress. Within 6 months of implementing this system, he quite literally got his dream body. And you'll notice everyone in here has their dream body. It's funny how that works, isn't it? So because he implemented the calorie tracking and because he implemented in tracking his workouts, we were able to not only lose fat here, but gain a significant amount of muscle and get his dream physique. Now, what I want to show you guys too is this doesn't just work for an intermediate lifter. We have my guy Matt here, who is already an extremely advanced lifter. But you can see we took him from here to the absolute next fucking level. He was stuck in a plateau after lifting for 5 years, and we still took him to that next level. So it doesn't just work for people that are intermediate. And if you're sitting there and you might think, oh, like I'm a little bit advanced, clearly you can always do more because he quite literally has a better physique than almost anyone I've ever seen after only 3 months on the program. Just by implementing these things in, just by implementing in my specific systems that I've given him. And it shows you too that if this works for advanced lifters, it's going to work for intermediate, it's going to work for beginner. And I'll show you as well, intermediate. This guy Jordan came to me, he had a lingering shoulder injury, and because of that, he was stuck in a plateau. He could only go to the gym 2 days a week, so we had him doing home workouts 2 days a week. And we did this in 8 fucking weeks. He got his dream body. It is so simple, guys. I'm telling you. You have to follow the systems, but if you follow the systems, I can guarantee that you will get the result that you desire because everyone in here has gotten the result that they desire. And he had intermediate experience as well. And he came to me stuck in a plateau for 2 years, unsure what to do.
We got his systems down, we found his baseline, we pushed off of his baseline, and he fell back on me for accountability anytime he was struggling, and therefore we achieved the result. Again, another intermediate lifter. This is my guy's Speed right here, right? He had been lifting for around 4 months. He didn't know whether he should bulk or cut or what he should do. He was really busy with work. He wanted to have like that elite level physique, like the veins, the muscle mass, the six pack, everything. And he didn't know what to do to get it, right? So we actually did a recomp phase and we put muscle onto him while losing a significant amount of fat, which led, if you can't guess already, to him getting his dream body in literally 3 months. This is a little less than 3 months, but I just rounded up to make it seem more realistic because people don't think my results are realistic, even though they always are. But he did this in quite literally 3 months just by following the systems and by making those weekly changes. The keys are the weekly changes and the accountability. That is exactly what you need. You need a program that updates with you, as I've mentioned before. The reason you're not progressing is because you're trying new workouts, you're trying these different things, and that's what Speed was doing, right? He was trying YouTube workouts, TikTok workouts, he was eating like healthy meals, going to Chipotle, whatever he thought was a healthy food, but he just wasn't progressing. And because of that, it led to him sitting in the exact same situation. And now, 3 months after the system, he got his dream body. So, what I need you guys to understand is that this system works no matter where you are, right? All of these guys came from different situations. All of these guys looked completely different when they started, but the outcome is always the same. They always finish with your dream body. So, what I want to leave you guys off on is this specific message.
So, if you've made it this far in the video and you've learned everything that I've taught you, you have two choices now. You can go ahead and you can apply absolutely everything I just taught you and then use that to push yourself out of that plateau, or you can quite literally have me do it for you. You can book a free call with me in my bio just for a consultation where I take a look at your exact situation, see exactly where you want to go, what you've been doing currently, and what we can do to progress out of that. So, regardless of what you guys do, I hope this video was helpful. I hope you're able to learn something and you're able to use this information to get to your dream physique. And if you do have any questions, specifically for me, my Instagram is also in my bio. You guys can feel free to always reach out. But if you're one of the many people that decide to book and end up working with me, I will see you guys on the other side. I love you and I hope this one was helpful. Peace.